What I want to show you today is how I am able to play literally hundreds of harmonica songs without looking at tabs, and how you can do just the same, and it's not as hard as you think. We're going to start one by one and develop your repertoire, and then you will see that even if someone wakes you up at 3 a.m. you can just take the harmonica and play those songs. No need to look at tabs. So quickly memorize songs and play without tabs. And why I made this is the first thing I want to show you. So in the last several months, I have been recording a harmonica album with Aviram, incredible guitarist, and also with Alon Kenneth, amazing pianist. This is just a footage from one of our rehearsals playing Georgia on My Mind. Okay, I am showing you this because this is a video that I keep coming back to, and I just really enjoy watching because there was a moment there. I think there was magic in those 2 minutes that we filmed, even though it's just a rehearsal, iPhone sound, but I keep going back to it because, as you can see, my eyes are closed and I just really like the sound. And this is something that you can really only get to when both of the performers are just inside the moment. As you can see, my eyes are closed. I am just completely soaked in the music. It's sort of a natural, high, transcendent feeling, and you cannot do this when you are looking at paper. You know, just imagine if you would go to, let's say, a show of Adele, 80,000 people in a stadium, and she would just go up on stage, look up at the lyrics, and just start basically, you know, reading the song to the audience. People would just like go home or throw tomatoes. So as a music performer, we want to play without paper. What we will cover together is, first of all, the why, which is a bit more deeply to let you see completely why you want to throw tabs in the trash and just don't look at that. And then we're going to talk about the method of how to do that. We're going to talk about 10 tips that speed it up. And we're going to talk about building a repertoire. I'm going to give you some first tips on how to do that faster and a bunch of great first songs to learn that and develop that first confidence. And I think this is going to be extremely useful whether you're just started out on the harmonica 2 weeks ago or whether you've been playing for years, because these are the tips that I'm going to show you is everything that I've learned all throughout recording the harmonica album, which demanded for me to learn a bunch of songs for each recording session, sometimes a song of 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and you just need to learn it. You know, there could be hundreds of notes to play the whole Piano Man song, not just the intro, and you have to play hundreds of notes perfectly, and I will show you exactly the methods that I have developed along the way, not just here but also in the previous 13 years of playing harmonica. So why tabs keep you stuck? Tabs are an amazing way into the world of the harmonica, but a song is only really yours when your ear and your body, as in your mouth, your hands, can carry it without looking at the numbers, and that takes 3 layers of memory. We have visual memory, which is basically our eyes. This is, if you remember, let's say we are now looking at the tabs for the chorus of Hallelujah. So these are 3 layers that are working together. And the first one, which is where we all start oftentimes, especially as a beginner, is just looking at that and remembering that. The second one, but it's also the weakest one, because if that's all you have, you're basically just reading numbers from paper, just like reading a phone number and telling you where to call. The second layer is muscle memory, which is basically, if you know that feeling after you played a song for many times, you can sort of feel your hands and your mouth, they already know where to go next. For example, here, from 5 to 6, we know, okay, we're moving from 5 to 6, our head moves right, then we draw the air in, etc. Our body already knows what to do. And then the third layer, which which combined with the second layer is just what it's all about, is the ear memory, where you actually know, okay, now the next note is going to go up, and I know where that note is. If I am on 5, the next note that I'm looking for is, in this case, 6 below. And then when you combine it all together and you know the song really well because you've heard it many times, you've heard Hallelujah many times, and you're not just trying to vaguely play a song that you maybe heard for the last time 3 years ago. And when you have 3 of those layers together, visual, muscle, and ear, that song is yours, and you can play it easily without panic in the eyes and without worrying that you're going to make mistakes. How do we get there? First of all, tabs are only the starting point because they show you where to begin. They are not where you stop, right? Tabs are amazing because they are basically the easiest form of reading music from all the music instruments. It's the easiest, I believe, as also someone who plays piano and harmonica. Harmonica is the most friendly for beginners because tabs are so easy. There's no chords that you need to figure out. There's no nothing. It just tells you number 5. Here's number 5 on the harmonica. Blow your air into that place. And that's it. Amazing. But the real aim is to reach the point where you can hear the melody clearly inside your head. So, as I said, you're not just reading, but you actually know, okay, it goes like da, 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 da. You can sing it very clearly, at least in your mind. You don't need to be a singer. You can play without looking down because, especially looking down, if you want to perform to your family, it just kills the vibe. You know, you want to look in their eyes and just be open. And especially on the harmonica, as a wind instrument, all the sound comes from your lungs. You want to be open, maybe even standing up. You want to have your chest open, and then your sound is healthier and bigger and more projecting. And you want to be able to catch yourself after a small sleep, even if you make mistakes. You don't need to go back to the tabs where I was. No, you already know the song. You just keep going, tractor through, you freight train through it. And the most important thing, you actually enjoy the music instead of just reading the numbers, which is what I told you about. This is that transcendent feeling, and I believe it opens up to you a lot more when you actually know the song, so you're not panicking about what note comes next. And that's the last slide that I prepared about the why to get us motivated, and then we're going to jump into it. By the way, I made a little bit over 50 slides, and by the end of it, you're going to have everything you need to go out there and learn your first songs. And already through this slide, already through this presentation, you will learn Country Roads and Hallelujah, and maybe you will even be able to play them without tabs by the end of this. So just remember that music, this is the biggest thing, music is all about the ears. That's where it comes from. We listen to music, we don't see it. Nobody actually sees music. It's impossible. So doesn't it make a lot more sense? It would also come from the ears and just from our mind and how we hear it in what you call the ear imagination or the internal ear. So if I imagine in my mind, even with eyes closed, I can just obviously. And then the example that I got for you is Stevie Wonder, blind basically from birth, and he doesn't know what are tabs, he doesn't know what are music note sheets, he's never seen any of those, he's never seen anything, but just, listen to the music he made, 25 Grammy Awards. Let's just listen. We're talking about music, let's just hear this for one moment.
But isn't she lovely,
By the way, I forgot to mention, if you don't know, Stevie Wonder is not just an amazing pianist and songwriter, he's unbelievable chromatic harmonica player, and here it is. By the way, Isn't She Lovely is also going to be one of the songs that we're going to learn today throughout the presentation. Let's talk about the method, which is the system of how we actually do that and how we actually train ourselves to memorize better. The first tool, which I'm going to give you, and if you don't know it yet, I think just the next 3 or 4 slides are going to be worth what you paid for this and a lot more, because that's going to completely open up your ears for music in general and especially on the harmonica. So check this out. This is the major scale. And basically the major scale is the building blocks of the vast majority, at least, of popular songs that you're hearing. That means that they use the notes of this scale. And here is the big cheat code that you're going to see here, that notes 4 and note 7, and by the way, this is just the middle octave on the harmonica between notes 4 to 7, because I don't want to just throw a lot of information on you and also teach you the lower octave and the upper octave, especially if you're just starting out, because anyways, most of the songs on the harmonica, at least when we're playing in first position, which is the vast majority of songs that we play as beginners, let's leave second position aside. By the way, the Georgia on My Mind that I showed you in the first slides that I played was in second position, but that is more advanced. And if you are advanced, you probably already know it, but this is for another time. Let's take the place where we all can meet together. And this is first position, middle octave. So play this together with me. Try to follow those tabs, starting on the 4 blow. And you can notice that there is a pretty clear sequence here between blow, draw, blow, draw, blow, draw, and then draw again, and then blow. And what you really want to pay attention here is, first of all, play it slowly, up and down, so also and you really want to pay attention to where are the high notes, where are the low notes. Obviously right side and left side, but the most important and interesting thing is the home notes. And that means the root notes where the melody feels like home. What does it mean? Check this out. For example, if we go, for example, for the chorus of Hallelujah or for the chorus of Country Roads, which we have down here, so you would notice that most melodies, most songs would end on 4 or sometimes on 7. Why? Because if you open your ears, you would see that this note really feels like where the melody should end. For example, let's look at this last line of the chorus of Country Roads. Take me home, country roads. That's the end of the song. However, if you would try to finish the song with something like this, take me home. Oh, our ear is just like, this is not resolved. This is not the end of the song. Something is wrong. Our ear wants to hear this. That sounds like a final note of the song. Also, for example, on the chorus of Hallelujah. And then the second time, check out where it ends. Four. Again, if I would try to finish it somewhere else. Whoa, our ear is like, we want this. So these are the home notes. And why am I telling you this? Because when you start paying attention to where are the home notes, you would start to actually feel the gravity of melodies. And you would naturally, for example, the most basic use of that is that you would notice that, as I told you, songs usually tend to finish to end on the 4 or the 7. And very, very often that would be on the 4. And you can also check it out on other songs. Just for example, we have, check this out, with Isn't She Lovely? Da, 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 on the 4. Okay, so this is the first thing you want to remember. And then what we want to do right now is to take, for example, just a little exercise besides going up and down this scale, which is something that I highly recommend that you actually learn to do without looking at those tabs and just memorize the scale by heart. As I told you, it's pretty simple. The only trick is -6, -7 to remember that. And then let's just play it again one more time from bottom to top and then from top to bottom. Going down. And then 3 just quick drills that you can play around with to feel that gravity. So for example, try playing around with this, with these sequence of notes, 4, 5, 6, 4. You hear how there is a relief when you go back down.